Hey everybody, this is Christian Buckley with another episode of MVP Buzz Chat, and I'm here with Catalin. And why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Catalin Gheorghiu. I'm from Eastern Europe. I'm from Romania. Yes, let me do a bit of advertising. We had the best, almost the best internet in the world.
And almost the best. So who would you say has the best internet in the world then, if not Romania?
I don't know, but we're pretty. I said almost the best because I'm not sure in this town that we have the best internet. Maybe it's another town in Romania, but we are still very good at it because we did not have any infrastructure before. So now we have the latest. Fiber optic everywhere.
Oh, that's great.
I'm an MVP from 2011, and this year I got a second category. It's Microsoft Azure, and the other one it's Windows development. But I'm in developing application for industrial handheld. So this kind of development got into the Windows development now. So I changed the category quite a lot.
And what aspect of Azure are you is your expertise?
It's of course IoT, because IoT and industrial handheld and all the stuff really go together. It's the part of the Azure that delves into IoT, IoT hub, stream analytics, machine learning, artificial intelligence, all the stuff that really can push up manufacturing because they give you insights. Really, what was the digital transformation buzzword?
Right.
Because okay, now you would see with this stuff that is a real plus in the manufacturing. Anyhow, the people do not call it digital transformation; they call it some other names. But you see the real advantages.
Well, they see that so I'm fascinated by IoT as a topic because so I worked for several years in the manufacturing sector. When I had my startup and I worked with along the supply chain on the design collaboration aspect of that. I worked for a startup where we were working with companies, some of the largest tech manufacturing companies in the world. I did personally worked on deployments with Matsushita, which is Panasonic, Hitachi, Omron, and a number of others, Selectron, Seagate, Cisco, quite a few. But at the same time, so especially in the late 90s, I had my own startup before this other company in the supply chain space that created this dot. So that actually a physical object, which was, the time where companies were scanning a lot of barcodes and their the RFID or their radio frequency ID tags were relatively new. And they came up with this tiny little dot, which had all the properties of the RFID to kind of feed and automate. And the idea was that you could have a pallet of material and every individual item had a dot on it. Every pallet had a dot on it. So you knew which objects were on which pallet moving where in the warehouse. And the data would just automate, pull the stuff in. And a lot of IoT, like that was the early stages of what we're now talking about. One slice of that within the supply chain world.
Be quite surprised. Not a lot had changed there, and still RFID solution are, let's say, bread and butter for a lot of our solutions. What we're doing at our company, we're doing, let's say, full solution. We have colleagues that design hardware and do all the stuff. We have colleagues that do the firmware. We send the data to the cloud, all the analysis. By the way, this year I got another award from Intel Software Innovator. So,
oh, very cool. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Because being MVP, also you learn how to serve other communities. So it's pretty easy to get another award for, let's say, some Connex technologies. I said, we at work, we're doing everything. We just, from hardware, software, whatever, installation, we go to the shop floor, we install everything. And on the mobile phones, the plant manager, they start seeing the dashboards with what's happening on the shop floor, something like this. This is the most common solution that we do.
Well, but I, just to clarify too, but I mean, what's dramatically different about 20 years ago when I got into this space is that it's real-time dashboard data, not reports of what was then, summarized or counted was, validated after the fact. Is as it's happening, it's moving through.
This real time, it's not quite. It's pretty fast, but you won't be able to follow a fast industrial process now. What I see the difference with 20 years ago, you can see now trend lines very fast. So before you needed to do a lot of stuff to get the trend line to see how the manufacturing is going. Now in Power BI, you just pick the right visual and you have a trend line. If you have some other tool from the Azure stack, again, you get a lot of information very easy. You really can,
right. And the faster that you get it, the quicker you can make changes, fix problems. I mean, that's it.
You see it. They jump to you. You do not need. Before it was a lot of data. Yes, we have a lot of data. What we need a very strange wizardly looking guy is looking at the data. Something here is not good. Now Azure is telling you something here is not good. It's not right, or some other cloud. Anyhow, this is where machine learning and artificial intelligence do a lot of difference. Again, another example, a very, very mundane application to sort up screws. Before you use a weight, we are trying to differentiate by weight. And that was quite imprecise. And now you have a machine learning model using a very cheap camera, relatively cheap, and you look at the picture, and from that picture, using the machine learning, you can identify if the worker has the right screws. And it's, I would say, a solution tad faster, tad cheaper, and let's say 80% more precise than before. And a small thing that, again, 20 years ago, will be doing it with this kind of solution will be done with different technology. And now we have other tools and we can do far better and far cheaper. It's really a simple application.
Well, it goes to the point too that you made about being able to track along the trend lines and being able to see the system gets more and more intelligent over time to see, as the data stacks up, you're able to see, well, hey, 87% of the time the errors are in this location. Therefore, we predict this will be the quality of and the rate at which we can produce the product. But then you can weight it, those measurements based on those trends that you're seeing and whether you're above or below that trend. And so the trend line can be changing over time. And so where that becomes critically important is especially, I'll go back to my experience at these manufacturers, high-tech manufacturers. If they suddenly are using a new vendor for a certain set of parts and then see fluctuation spikes one way or the other in quality around that, they're able to more rapidly identify those that are tied to that new vendor or where they're sourcing their materials, the quality of going back to, like you mentioned, Intel, like the creation of chips. And if anybody's done an MBA, they likely did like the whole the Deming dots and the beads or whatever the test of the quality of the fab and going through and anyway.
You're seeing from let's say the angle of American MBA angle. Here, let's say our plant managers are very focused on profit. They want to see what will happen with this order. We'll be able to fulfill it in time. We'll be able to fill it faster. If something is not working properly, what's the problem and how can do a change, and how can I estimate if that change will help us fulfill the order as planned.
Right. There's a demand planning aspect of it, which is actually where I helped.
No, production planning, because okay, I've started this order. I estimated before that it'd be finished in time, but look, it looks like we have a problem, and we have a warning sign that we won't finish this order in time. So let's try to put more machines, and okay, let's see if this is helping. If not, let's do something else. And also to trace the root cause, because if they have on the several machines, okay, see, the material is bad. So, okay, let's try to do something with the material to have it better. Or let's say the people are bad, or it's a bad day in whatever. So they are much more oriented to the money than to, let's say, to the making estimation about the benefit of the process, of the change on the process. They want to finish and they want to get the money.
Right. Well, it is, but the more data that you have around the failure, and I was just thinking of like last year's build and ignite, and you see some really cool announcements about some of the virtual reality capability and things, of being able to go and see things through the eyes of people that are on the floor looking at things. And I mean, there's a lot of cool things that are happening, and IoT for the system to be able to alert you that, hey, we see temperature fluctuations along the pipeline and where it might be, and data over time. So the machine learning comes in play, where it may have learned and said, hey, we see based on all of these factors, in 72% of the chances this went wrong. So you can be ready to solve that problem. And the closer you get there, the more information that you get around that, the idea is that you're able to fix things faster, be more aware of where their potential failures are. So order replacement parts in advance, have people at the ready when you see things trending a certain direction. You don't have to wait for a pipe to burst or failure, catastrophic failure some point. That increasingly, like the various indicators are able to tell you, hey, these factors are going on, and over time, over those trend lines, here's what we see most commonly happen in this set of circumstances. So you can start then to better predict what may happen or not, reducing the cost of that and being able to better interpret the realities of what's happening on the ground and with that supply chain. It's, I mean, I look at it as all related. It's where we used to be blind to so many of these things. We find out after the fact and have to throw out, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of inventory of something because we didn't catch the mistake until further down the line when there was a visual on what's going on and be able to trace it back. The more data, the more points of visibility into your system, then the more intelligence that you'll be able to get, and then to learn from those things over time.
Yeah, this is at the end of the day the huge transformation. Even before we had the data, but you had no insights of it. You need, let's say, if you're lucky, you had somebody who understood the data by looking like some beautiful mind.
Right.
Now you have the
matrix. Right. You're looking at the data in real time in the matrix and able to see it. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And now you have a lot of stuff that helps you. And also it's a huge difference. You see that the processes are getting far better. And okay, predictive maintenance, it's again a huge area where, let's say, I hear a lot of Microsoft talking about it. When I see in the shop floor, they want to see predictive manufacturing. They want to see how much they will perform, how much they will earn. Okay, predictive maintenance is part of it, but they are far more interesting in the finished product. But still, as I said, IoT, it's not a new stuff. But now we have the huge cloud differentiator. There are a lot of tools, and are starting to get very smart. Machine learning and artificial intelligence. Okay, now we can talk about really artificial intelligence. Even that's no new concept. but now you can start reaping the fruits from it. And I've seen helping people for this, from the simplest worker to the plant manager. And okay, they do not know the intricacies of the solution, but they got what they wanted, and they are happy and they're more productive. Okay, they are not so tired when they get home.
Right.
So it's it's a huge transformation. It's happening. Let's say sometimes we do not see it, that the world around us it's moving, but it's happening, and are exciting times to be here. And also, let's say artificial intelligence and machine learning are not the stuff that are moving, only stuff that are moving in the Azure IoT cloud. It's also the security drive. It's very interesting what's around Azure Sphere. I'm quite curious how we'll catch in the market, but as a concept, it's highly interesting. If you heard about Azure Sphere.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so anyhow, if Microsoft started to do a cheap design to offer a service and all the stuff, this is also interesting. And then I'm okay. I'm still waiting to see, let's say, a huge attraction on the market. I'm hoping for that, because the security it's a huge issue now.
But again, that also is something that hasn't changed. I mean, 20 years ago with our supply chain solution, the idea of having these, huge manufacturing OEMs more closely tying their data to even their tier one partners, their trust issues there. And so we had to, security and visibility, the transparency of what we were doing and their data versus even their closest partners' data, because some of their partners worked with other OEMs. And so these were, valid concerns. Those, so I worked on that stuff back in 2001, 2002, going to Microsoft and helping with the launch of Office 365. The top issues that we heard were security, privacy, compliance, all those kinds of things. Here we are, 15 years later, and it's those same topics that people are concerned about.
What I think interesting about Azure Sphere is that somebody, Microsoft Research, started and analyzed all IoT devices, and they come with a white paper called 7 Property or Highly Secure Devices, something like this. Anyhow, it's our 7 properties. And they are very well organized. So you can use them to assess your solution as now. Well, this is the stuff that you need to take care of, and you can see how I take care of. After they formalized these 7 points, they created Azure Sphere, which cover all the bases, more or less. Mm-hmm. But okay, it's interesting that they have the theoretical part, and they cover some very interesting areas that, okay, even us that we are in the business, we never really thought about it. Like it was one of the stuff that got me, it was that you cannot do a rollback on the device. So I said, okay, why not? Because when you push a new version, you push it for security reasons. If somebody can do unreliable rollbacks, they can get you to an unsecure version. So they limited this ability of doing rollbacks. So again, they take the theory of IoT and they formalize the security. That was the interesting part. Oh, of course, as a concern of security, that moved also 20 years ago. We all have problems with this, issues with security. But now let's say Azure Sphere and the 7 properties of highly connected devices have these formalized 7 properties, which are the main security concerns and how to mitigate them in one package. So I really would like to see more devices which are covering all the 7 properties, because they did a highly good theoretical job.
Have you done any blog posts, any content around those?
Let's put it this way. In the last couple of years, my website, when I was keeping my blog, it was an association of Romanian .NET users group, died out. And I never find a place where to park it yet. but I need to do. And I want to blog post it. Um, I did some articles, okay, sometimes ago on Code Project, but it wasn't that good feeling. I'm this year for sure. I need to blog again, and I do not know where. Because okay, again, in also in which language? My before it was in Romanian language, and because it was a need on the market. Uh, Now on these IoT issues, I do not suppose that Romanian market is that much to do it just in Romania. So I need to be a place to be in English. Okay, write in English, it's a tad better than speaking.
Yeah.
You only have a spell checker. So yes, I need to do this.
Well, what? So I'll provide links, of course, and associated blog posts and stuff out there. But so how can people, if they want to find out more about what you're working on, learn more about you, but what you're doing, whether in English or in Romanian, what's the best way for people to find you and out on social media?
Okay, on the social media, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, still we reply at all the mail addressed to our community. Um, I, and something like this. And also on social media, when I put the blog up yet again, someplace it will be announced. I'm thinking that there is a community of IoT developers moving a blog. I'm not sure it's based in the States someplace. That is one option. And the other option, it's to host it myself. I'm still thinking, and I need again to start being disciplined to do the material and the good quality.
You know, one of the ways a lot of people are doing is just like you use Medium, and then you can do kind of a magazine, and you can have as many co-authors as you want as part of that, and kind of aggregate the content. That might be an option for you as well.
Unfortunately for IoT, it's a lot of work to do a nice blog post.
Yeah.
Because you do the electrical schemas, you do some, you do put the code, you put some pictures. Let's put it this way: the code project article I wrote, there weren't many, but one of them was got an award. So yeah, if you're spending the time, it's worth it. But you need to spend the time. So
Yep.
yeah, and also really, you have put the finger on the spot. Azure Sphere, it's something that deserves blog posts.
Well,
There's
definitely. I think a lot of people have questions about it. Look, I think there's in my impression that there's a gap between the the highly technical content where you go deep into the weeds and the business application of that. And I think that if you can cover that gap, if you're able to write about it, understand it, the technology, but then talk about the practical application of that technology and be a voice there, that there's a lot of
I'm usually trying to do something that has looking somehow practical. In conferences, for example, almost all the demos finish in some visualization. So if I have some hardware, it will finish in Power BI. So okay, Power BI, I do not remember. I have always noted in the slides on which tier of Office 365 it's already in. And okay, the people said, yes, you have this hardware, you can do this, and this, and you have very easily dashboards. And you already have your subscription Power BI. And so, yeah, you are right yet again. Some of the examples out there are very, let's say, in the weeds and do not show the people, okay, you can do this. And also, another stuff I'm trying to bridge the hardware fright gap. Because people said, okay, I want to do IoT. So how do I start? I need to buy hardware. Okay, I do not like hardware. I never understood it. So, okay, I need to buy this kit, which I can assemble. Okay, but still, it's a lot of money. So I've discovered something from Microsoft. They have a Raspberry Pi simulator.
Yep.
Send some data.
No, quite a few people that have started playing with that. Yep.
Yeah. So I say, okay, guys, you have for free $200 Azure. You have this, and you can use this, and this, and get the data to your phones. So what do you think? would you try this for at home? Or you can take the Raspberry Pi simulator and go to time series inside. Again, you can do this at home right now. So I've seen people who really were interested about this approach. Okay, I can try it. I do not need to buy anything. Wonderful. So, because before I was showing them hardware, yeah, okay, theoretically I'm a hardware engineer by diploma, but okay, what they see? They see a bunch of wires. This is something they could try. If they go to a conference, which talking about Microsoft, they're most probably developers mainly. A couple of them, maybe they know the electronics, but not that much. So yeah, this always helps.
Well, it's been interesting to talk to you about. I mean, this is a great topic, and I'd like to spend more time thinking about writing about. Because I look personally, I think there's some of the experiences that I had, 20 years ago in the supply chain space. It's still relevant and applies, and I like to talk about kind of where that comes into what's there today. It's the same with, as you point out, AI. It's the same thing. There's so much of the early stages of what we now look at, read about, talk about within that space. But Catalin, thank you for your time, and I know this is our second attempt to meet, but thanks a lot for your time today.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.